The study of human anatomy and physiology is the basis for understanding the human body and how it stays alive. There are three major underlying concepts that all living organisms, including humans, have in common. 1. The complementarity of structure and function. 2. The hierarchy of structural organization. 3. Homeostasis, the basis of physiology. In this overview, we will learn basic terminology, different ways that anatomy is studied, how the body is assembled, and the role of the organ systems. In Part 2, we will study the language of anatomy, which applies anatomical names to different regions of the human body. We will also examine directional terminology, planes of section, and medical imaging. Anatomy comes from a Latin root word that means to cut up or cutting open. The focus of anatomical studies is to understand structure and the relationship between the different parts of the body. Physiology comes from a word that means nature and is concerned with the function of the different body parts, how things work to keep us alive. There is a tremendous consistency between structure and function, and before too long you will be able to predict the function of something based on how it looks, or vice versa. There are 5 essential tools for studying anatomy. These include mastering the anatomical terminology. Most of the terms you will run into as you study medical sciences are very foreign-sounding words that are hard to pronounce. This is because biological science as a whole uses words based on Greek or Latin so that the terms can be understood universally. Observation involves paying attention to the appearance and behavior of the patient. Manipulation is used to assess movement and flexibility, but it is also used therapeutically for joint and spine problems. Palpation means to feel with your fingers, as in palpating the pulse. Lastly, auscultation means to listen to the sounds the organs are making, such as the heartbeat, respiratory, or intestinal sounds. Anatomy is studied at 3 different levels, and each of these have several subdivisions. The first level is gross or macroscopic anatomy. Gross anatomy is the study of structures large enough to be seen with the naked eye, e.g., heart, brain, lungs, etc. The second is microscopic anatomy, the study of the structure of the body components at the microscopic level. The third is developmental anatomy. This field of anatomical science is concerned with the study of structures and the changes occurring from the fertilized egg through adulthood. Let's begin by looking at the different ways gross anatomy is studied. One way is surface anatomy, which is the study of body form simply by visually inspecting the outside of the body. Anatomical landmarks are made by bones, tendons, and muscles that lie under the skin. These landmarks are used clinically to locate internal structures without opening up the body. Common examples include finding the correct locations for taking pulse rates, listening to heart sounds, palpating specific organs, feeling using the fingers, etc. This slide demonstrates some common surface anatomy landmarks. Note the jugular notch. This is a landmark for structures in the region of the thyroid gland. The ridge-like sternal angle directs you to the second pair of ribs, which attach to it. From there you can count down to identify the other ribs comprising the rib cage. This is useful because the ribs can be used to locate other important organs in the thorax. The costal margin is formed by the bottom of the rib cage. We will be using this landmark for defining abdominal pelvic regions later on. The midpoint of the clavicle is used as a landmark from which to drop a mid-clavicular line all the way to the groin. This line is used to define the boundaries of some of the abdominal pelvic regions. Systemic anatomy is the study of entire organ systems, one at a time. This approach clarifies functional relationships between the organs belonging to a particular organ system. The systemic anatomy approach is the one that we will use in this course. For example, we will study the integumentary, skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems this semester. When using a regional approach to study anatomy, all the structures in a particular body region are studied at once. This means if one was studying the arm, we would look at the skin, muscles, blood vessels, nerves, bones, etc. in that specific region. This is the approach that is taken by many medical schools in their gross anatomy courses because it emphasizes spatial relationships between structures. There are other ways of studying gross anatomy that make use of specialized imaging equipment. Radiographic anatomy uses X-rays to examine bones, look for foreign objects, or dense masses. Anatomical pathology examines the structural changes that take place when an organ is affected by disease. The second major subdivision of anatomical studies is microscopic anatomy. This is the study of structure of the body's organs at the microscopic level. In other words, structures too small to be seen with the unaided eye. Microscopic anatomy is subdivided into cytology, which is the study of cells, the smallest unit of structure considered to be alive, and histology, which is the study of tissues. Tissues are groups of specialized cells that carry out a particular function for the body, such as respiration, reproduction, protection, digestion, etc. The third major subdivision of anatomical study is developmental anatomy. This is the study of structures and structural changes that occur in the body throughout the lifespan from conception to old age. Embryology is a subdivision of developmental anatomy. It focuses on the study of development from the fertilized egg to the 8th week of gestation. The reason why embryology is set apart is because rapid and dramatic changes take place during this short period of gestation. All the organ systems are in place at this point, and the heart is beating. One useful way to study both anatomy and physiology is to construct flow charts or hierarchy schemes. Here's an example of how to do this using the information we just studied. It is a good habit to get into early on in your study of A and P because it keeps related concepts and information in perspective. See if you can fill in the circles with the correct information. In the spaces outlined in red, write the definition of the term above it. In the ovals outlined with green, write the word that best fits the definition below. The human body consists of several levels of structural organization that build upon each other and are interrelated with each other. In this section, we will examine how atoms and molecules are arranged in order to form a human being. The human body is put together from simple components that aggregate in specific ways. The chemical level of organization includes atoms and molecules. 2 to a few atoms associate with one another to form simple molecules. The main atoms comprising living organisms are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Simple molecules combine in certain ways to form macromolecules, which are unique to living things. The 4 major macromolecules of life are 1 carbohydrates, 2 lipids, 3 proteins, and 4 nucleic acids. The macromolecules arrange themselves in precise ways to form organelles. Organelles are components of cells which play specific roles in keeping the cell alive and carrying out its function. You can think of organelles as mini organs of the cell. Organelles become grouped together to form cells, the fundamental unit of life. Cells are the smallest entity that display all 7 characteristics that scientists use to describe life. Tissues are formed when many cells of several types become associated with each other to carry out a specific function. There are 4 main types of tissues in the body: 1 epithelial, 2 connective, 3 muscular, 4 nervous. Epithelial tissues cover the body's surface or line internal body cavities and organs. Some epithelia form glands which produce a secretory product. Connective tissues connect or knit together the body's organs. Ligaments Tendons, bone, and cartilage are examples of connective tissue. Muscle tissue functions in movement. It comes in three forms: 1 skeletal muscle, 2 cardiac muscle, and 3 smooth muscle. Nervous tissue provides a means of rapid internal communication by transmitting electrical impulses. Varying proportions of these 4 major types of tissues associate with each other to form the organs of the body. The tissues are organized in such a way as to work in combination so that the organ can perform a specific function. In the example above, the lining of the blood vessels consists of an epithelium specialized to reduce friction. The walls of blood vessels have smooth muscle so that nerves can alter their diameters and thus control blood flow. All of the component parts are knitted together with connective tissue. Organs with related functions are grouped together to form organ systems: digestive, respiratory, reproductive, nervous, etc. And finally, organ systems combine to form the whole organism. Organs having a common function are grouped together to form the organ systems of the body. There are 11 organ systems that must work together to make up the living human being. In this overview, we will look at each organ system, list the constituent organs that make them up, and briefly describe the major functions of each. For all of the organ systems we examine, be sure you know what organs comprise them and what the general function of each system is. The first organ system we will consider is the integumentary system. It is the largest of all organ systems because it includes the skin, the largest organ in the body, which covers the entire outer surface of the body. The integument includes several types of organs in addition to the skin, such as nails, hair, sweat, and oil glands. It also contains nerve endings and tactile receptors. The integument functions in protection, regulation of body temperature, perception of stimuli, touch, hot, cold, etc., and eliminates waste via sweat glands. The skeletal system includes bones, bone marrow, cartilages, ligaments, and joints. It supports the body, protects internal organs, viscera, provides a framework on which muscles can pull to create movement, stores calcium and other minerals, and is where blood cells are formed within its marrow cavities. The muscular system creates movement for the body. It also helps to protect internal organs. Think of your abdominal region. From the front, there are no bones to protect the abdominal organs, just integument and abdominal muscles. Muscle generates heat. You know this because when you exercise, you get warm and may even sweat from the heat produced by muscle contraction. Shivering results from tiny muscle contractions and serves as the body's attempt to keep warm when the outside temperature is cold. The nervous system detects, integrates, and responds to stimuli. It works extremely rapidly to do this. It plays a primary role in maintaining homeostasis, internal balance, by guiding the actions of the other organ systems. Its major organs include the brain, spinal cord, nerves, and sense organs. The cardiovascular system includes the heart, blood, and blood vessels. Its job is to distribute oxygen, nutrients, hormones, antibodies, and other materials to places where they are needed, and to carry waste materials to sites where they can be eliminated from the body. It also helps to maintain the body temperature within normal limits because of its high water content and the fact that blood is continually being circulated. The lymphatic system consists of a widespread distribution of organs, tissues, and cells. It helps with immune function. It returns tissue fluid to the bloodstream, and it works with the digestive system to pick up dietary fats. The respiratory system consists of a series of air conducting and conditioning passageways and the lungs. The lungs work with the cardiovascular system to extract oxygen from the air we breathe in and eliminate carbon dioxide gas, a waste product of cellular respiration. It also plays a role in the sense of smell and produces sound for communication purposes. The digestive system functions to take in food, process the food, absorb nutrients, and eliminate indigestible waste material. Each of the organs listed above play their specific role in the digestive process, but have digestion as their common goal. The urinary system includes the kidneys, which do the work of regulating blood quality, and a network of urine-collecting tubes that deliver the urine to the bladder until it can be released from the body. Most people know that the urinary system makes urine, but they don't know that it is important for regulating water and electrolyte balance, blood pressure, blood peak, red blood cell production, and several other key functions. The reproductive system functions to propagate the species. It overlaps with the endocrine system because it also produces hormones. In males, it overlaps with the urinary system as well. For all of the organ systems we just looked at, be sure you know what organs comprise them and what the general function of each system is. All the organ systems work together to maintain homeostasis, keep us alive and well. We may study them one by one in our systemic approach to anatomy and physiology, but there is a tremendous amount of interaction and cross-talk between them all. None work alone. This slide shows a simplistic example of how a couple of the organ systems overlap with each other to maintain homeostasis. Read through this example to get a feel for how organ systems work together.